Don't skip. Have you ever felt like you're always giving without receiving, that someone only reaches out to you when they need something and completely ignores you in times of your own difficulty? Shallow relationships, unfulfilled promises, or persistent disrespect. All these can make you question your true value in the eyes of others. So, how do we face and overcome relationships that exist solely to take advantage of us? Stoic, with its profound principles, can be an inspiring guide to help us understand and deal with people who see us as nothing more than a means to an end. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius Epicus and Seneca emphasize the importance of remaining calm in the face of indifference and exploitation. They believed that while we cannot change how others behave, we have full control over how we respond and how we uphold our self-worth. If you're looking for a way to rise above relationships that leave you drained, here are practical insights I've gained over time. Stay focused and don't miss any part of this video, because these aren't just tips. They're keys to helping you rediscover your own value. This journey will not only deepen your understanding of others, but also offer you a chance to grow, become stronger, and free yourself from reliance on anyone else. Let's begin. Number 1, showing disinterest in. Showing disinterest in you as a person. You as a person. A healthy relationship requires mutuality, like a harmonious dance of give and take. However, someone who is merely using you will display indifference, coldness, and a lack of regard for your feelings and thoughts. They may talk to you about what they need, what they want to achieve, and only reach out to you in times of difficulty or need. Such a person might ask about your work, but never really listens to your answer. Or they half-heartedly listen before shifting the conversation back to themselves. They don't genuinely care about you. They simply seek support when it's convenient. Consider this situation: you're going through a rough patch at work and feel deeply unsettled. You share this with your friend hoping for empathy, but instead of offering comfort, they launch into their own pressures. Without truly listening to you after the conversation, you realize you don't feel any better. In fact, you feel even more isolated and alone in relationships with people who don't care about you. Your feelings are often disregarded, leaving you feeling abandoned within the very relationship you sought for support. People who lack genuine concern often believe they already know everything about their own lives and needs, so they feel no need to listen or care for others. This can make you feel like a faint accessory in their lives. If you continue this relationship, feelings of loneliness and disappointment may slowly seep in, making you feel as though you don't truly matter to anyone. Another clear sign is, if you find yourself always initiating conversations, asking questions, and showing care if you don't take the first step, the conversation might never happen. A person who doesn't truly care about you will never check in to see if you're okay, simply because they don't feel the need to. In their eyes, your needs hold little significance. Stoicism encourages us to face harsh but necessary truths to maintain inner peace. Epicus once emphasized, don't explain your philosophy. Embody it rather than trying to explain yourself or expect others to change. Live according to your philosophy. When you encounter someone who doesn't care about you, don't let their actions disrupt your tranquility. Remember, you're not responsible for changing someone who's unwilling to listen or care. A Stoic approach is to cultivate emotional independence. When you realize someone doesn't truly care, ask yourself, how does this affect my self-worth? Stoicism teaches us that our value doesn't depend on whether others acknowledge or care for us, but on how we perceive ourselves. Ask yourself further, why am I allowing their indifference to affect my emotions? Everyone deserves relationships where their thoughts and emotions are respected. If you realize you're being used, consider pausing to evaluate whether the relationship is truly worthwhile. Friendship, love, or any relationship requires mutuality. You shouldn't feel like a tool for someone else's gain. A healthy relationship brings peace and appreciation, and if you're not finding that Stoicism teaches that sometimes letting go is the first step toward true, Music freedom number 2. Not showing mutual effort. Effort a relationship without genuine mutuality is a burden, like sitting on a seesaw where the other side never responds while you're putting in all your effort, sacrificing time, energy, and emotions to nurture the relationship. The other person simply sits back passively receiving without truly sharing or reciprocating. Imagine having a friend who always turns to you for advice in times of difficulty, yet when you need help, they consistently find reasons to avoid you each time. You may find yourself questioning whether you're asking for too much or if you really matter to them when someone is unwilling to reciprocate the effort you put into the relationship. They're signaling that you're simply a means to their ends. Perhaps they only value you when it benefits them, making the relationship dependent solely on what they receive. Stoicism reminds us not to attach ourselves too deeply to things beyond our control. If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you but your own judgment about it. You have the right to determine the value of a relationship and not let others' behaviors dictate your peace. One common scenario is when you're the one initiating plans, sending messages, or keeping in touch. For instance, imagine you have a long-time friend, but every meeting between you both depends on your arrangements. You're the one who calls, texts, and checks in while they respond indifferently or don't respond at all. They never consider setting aside time for the relationship, as if maintaining it is solely your responsibility. Eventually, you'll feel drained from carrying the relationship alone. The truth may be that they don't consider the relationship with you important or aren't committed long term. Some people view relationships as temporary resources without feeling the need to invest, like a friend who calls only when they need financial assistance but disappears when you need help. Such people don't value you as a person. They see you as a tool. Recognizing this allows you to manage expectations, avoid emotional dependency, and save your energy for those who deserve it, rather than hoping others will change. Stoicism teaches us to adjust our expectations and focus on what we can control. One effective approach is to accept the reality of the relationship without trying to change it. Stoicism encourages us to act without attachment to outcomes. So if you've made an effort and it's not reciprocated, it's a signal to reevaluate the relationship in life. It's crucial to distinguish between relationships that help us grow and those we need to release. Balanced effort helps sustain healthy relationships and prevents energy drain. If a relationship leaves you feeling depleted, it may be a sign to step back. Sometimes letting a relationship end is an act of courage and respect for yourself and your worth. Number 3, failing to keep. Failing to keep promises. Promises when you invest in a relationship where the other person doesn't put in equivalent effort. You may start to feel an underlying instability. They aren't as committed as you once thought. A lack of effort often brings with it an even more hurtful behavior. Broken promises when someone repeatedly breaks their promises. They're not only failing to uphold their words, they're also showing that your trust is something they easily disregard. Frequent broken promises aren't just about a forgotten commitment or a minor inconvenience. Instead, they reflect a certain attitude, a lack of responsibility and respect. Imagine a close friend who promises to help you with an important project but fails to show up when you need them most without even offering an explanation. Such empty promises become a mask, hiding their selfishness and serving as a tool to keep the relationship alive only when it benefits them. Those who break promises often know that a promise is a powerful way to build trust. They know you'll likely trust and wait for them once they've made a commitment, giving them a chance to take advantage of your trust. Think of the last time a colleague promised to share resources or collaborate on a project with you only to be entirely absent when you needed support. People like this exploit your trust to gain their own benefits without any intention of honoring that trust. This is a subtle form of manipulation that Stoicism warns us to recognize and avoid. In life, there are countless situations that reveal broken promises, and you may have experienced some of them yourself. Perhaps you know someone who promises to stay in touch and spend time with you when you need it, but only shows up when it's convenient for them. For example, a longtime friend may promise to be there for an important event in your life, like a wedding or grand graduation. You count on their presence as a testament to your friendship, but they disappear at the last moment with a vague excuse. Such broken promises don't just leave you disappointed, they also make you question the true meaning of that friendship. Stoicism emphasizes that while we can't control others, we can control our own reactions. When you see someone repeatedly breaking promises, the first question to ask yourself is, am I placing too much expectation on them? Does this broken promise reflect their true nature? Remember, a promise without action is a waste of time and emotion. Stoicism teaches us to accept people as they are, not as we wish them to be, by understanding and accepting the nature of a person who